Good morning, Chris Fitness. Chris, that's the beat you were asking me about. That's a 2012 to 2014. That one there. Satu Munta. Sisi Samu. Hizo sente zikula hybrid. You're my number one. Abai, navuze main na NS bananga. I think I was patient. I reached a point in Gaskia Sobola Kuchuka. Valerian, good morning. Martha Academy, good morning. Chris Fitness, yesterday's broadcast. Abiola Pounds, how are you? Travel Life Vlog. How is your morning, guys? So we are stuck in this car jam here na mama. Nze nchadda ku main. Enda kudda mvuga ebinnya byange, ebinnya bitambula at least. Now that these cars are coming, this side check is enough for whatever to start. The only problem is the waffle one I got water and whatever to start. Mutima gwange, sit over, you make my life easy. When I'm done, when I'm up, you're sucking me. You be the go, no see go me dying. I'm busy eating and I go to the Ulida. To Gabigo, Netwe Buruga, to Maris and Keranga to live baby. Baby girl, you will rock with me. Keep me by my side, you will stuck with me. Girl, it's what I feel inside when you're by my side, girl. You don't notice in the corner of my studio, I got small as but how are you, my people? Today we are going to be talking modifications, and I'll tell you why. Where you love me. Simanyi kuwana na yenandi kuwanyeze nekugama nti olinga ejuba olinga emunyenye oli musayungu ntambulira munda. Baby, let me tell you the truth. You speak with a voice, it's in high definition. Take a picture of you, read the glasses, make you an invention. Baby girl, you will rock with me. Yeah. The thing you were talking about yesterday, about beautiful, handsome people getting favors, is called the halo effect. It's a cognitive bias where looks bias your evaluation. And it happens. It happens a lot. Things happen for you. Viola Namilo, good morning. Martha, ba customer bali wano, tulage customer care. Amina, ndachai senga nuwa. Chris Fitness, in the early morning workout, sisi sobola. They wange kusawa 12. So kati early morning workouts are really, really hard. Singo okolera. But morning workouts would work. Ne man, Chris. Nakuno mbe chuma change waka nange nche ulira sebo. Era wono dira. Ngenda ba heavy. Wono dira ngenda ba heavy. So On TikTok, I think it was yesterday, but one. I did a video where I was talking about modifications and their impact on your car, the resale value, and all that. Emabega no wali omusajja atisse ebikajjo oba taakone motoka yange atisse ebikajjo ku bikajjo wagulu wali atuddeko mugenda mulaba nga atuyise because I'm sure that guy wants to overtake, but I also want him to overtake me. Naye atuzze bozzi mabega naye nno n'omuntu atikka ebikajjo omuvangako aba duniya yagivaako abaanoonya ssente no matter what. Atisse ebikajjo ndooza ng'ebikumi kikumi. Good morning, Paul Sema. Kavitsa at 35, isn't that overpriced? It's not, it's the price. Your price ya Kavitsa ako Chris Fitness. Ako. For the guys that don't know, we're talking about the Vitz that is in front of us. That's like a 2012 to 2014, 2015 model. It's at 35 million shillings in the bond. Between Kale, you may find some people selling it 32, but 32 to 35, I find that it's over. Kale, we can't say overpriced because that's the price everyone is selling it. If it were that there are people selling it at like 18, you would say so, but people are selling it 32, 35, 33, 34, 30, katiba 35, 32 najiulira da. Yeah, so but I'm sure it's the price because omwaka gwako mupya osegeera mwaka gwako mupya, and I'm imagining literally all cars that have 2014, 2012, 2013, the prices are also high. Okitegera. Noah, they don't put it live. Good morning, Noah. So guys, I was talking about modifications, and today in my inbox on TikTok, DK car modification. You guys have seen him. For the guys on TikTok, you guys have seen that dude. The guy that starts his greeting with DK Baliruno of Uganda. Simanya because ebutia DK Baliruno Simanya nebaza mukama katondo lwa magezi no kwagora customer and stuff like that, and then he goes ahead to tell us what he did on the previous car, what he's planning to do and all that. Yeah, so he reached out and said, "Nae aka, we get the kuka modification, fetugendewa, tuliewa." Yeah, so first off, it's important for us to understand what a modification is, okay, and what modifications I normally speak of, the modifications I discourage you from doing, and the modifications that are okay to be done. Main road, and this is a country that doesn't have more than 300,000 cars. Majority of the cars are in Kampala. Exactly, Chris. 35. Still a valvematic wish. At 35, ugatako million tano nofuna hybrid. Mala zobongo kwa katuli gear towards the hybrid. Wapasi nafuna wenji pangis. Jagala nji pangis na bebi yekola. Webabi ye njagala yekole yekola. Mwenye kuda bamu valvematic by the end of the year. So the kind of modifications I'm talking about, I've not seen any car that is really modified on the road today. But let me try to give a perspective. You see how that Vitz looks? That Vitz is in its original form from the factory. That's how it was made. Okay. There are modifications that would. Let me give you something that I experienced myself during the lockdown. There is a bond called Sian Motors, Sian Car Bond. It's in Nakawa, and they had this Pajero, a GDI they wanted to sell. I think it was around 2009 model, and it had been facelifted to 2013. You get it? And like 4 buyers went to buy that car, and the reason they were not buying it was because it was facelifted. They wanted an original 2009. You get it? So the guy started at selling it at 25. He went at 22. I think it was a UBE, and UBE at that time, UBE was still new. So he started at 25, went 23, 22. He sold the car 18 million. And 18 million is the amount that they buy those Pajeros on UAS, UAT. You get, but they bought a UBE which had no problem at that amount simply because he had facelifted the car. Now, under normal circumstances, someone would think, oh, when a car is facelifted, to a newer model, people would gladly buy it. Apparently, in that case, that where I was really involved, because at that time how I got to know number plate and I had to do transfer, and it was in the name of Cian Carbon. So Cian had to do the transfer for me and help me get number plates as well. You get it? So that's how I got to know how I got to know about that car. And America joba watu yiseko. Mbadde njagala watu yiteko balabe. Walabi. Kati yomyayi webikajje emmotoka bwe epichi bwe muwabako naagwa. Bwo badodduko omuyingira bulungi. Kitege. But you know what is happening here? It's showing you the level of struggle that some Ugandans go through. You can imagine a traffic officer can stop that guy na mulyamu omutwalo. Chukange ebikajje ebiri ku gaali bya mitwalo nga 8. I don't know exactly how much they probably chikaje kiba kya kakaaga. Biri muno sente we kiba kya kakaaga because buli nyingo eva muno nusu bitano. Buli nyingo 12, 3, 5, kakaaga kasanvu. Buli kikajo kireka kya kaka. Buli kado kya kakaaga ng'okiguze kiramba. So bwakisala asala leka akijjamu ng'omutwalo. Good morning, Hasmat. Chris agamba, I saw a hybrid Corolla 2023 model and this fuel economy was 25 kilometers. I haven't seen any car with nice such. Kachitegeeza zino hybrids at 2014 tezituuka mu 20. That would make me stick to my car. Okitegeera, that's why I'm not. If a 2023 model is giving 25.5 kilometers, it means a 2024 that has even, if it is a hybrid, and the problem with all hybrid cars is it is as a manual. If it were a hybrid and manual, I would actually get 30 out of that car. I would be able to get 30 out of it. Main road ya Chihuahua. Tetambula. Main road tetambula. Moveni ngoga bavuga tebagala kola. Ola omwana avuga ebikajjo bibyo biyitirivu. Tesichayo ya main road. Ojindete that sijinsinza kujiddamu. So guys, modifications, and of course not all modifications are bad. You can do modifications, but I find that the thing that you should avoid as an individual, especially when you're still a young person who knows that at a certain moment you may need some money. I find that you should avoid doing permanent modifications on your car. Modifications that cannot be undone, especially those things that, apart from beautifying the car according to you, that they don't give the car any other value. Because there are things that we think maybe they add value to the car, like spoilers, like bumper lips, side skirts. It's very easy for you to start thinking that those things are going to give your car value, but those things are not actually giving your car any value. It's in a way for you start you're believing that it's in a way you're thinking that they are making the car more beautiful, but beauty is subjective. And there are people that would judge a car's beauty based on how it looks in its original format. Like how someone would imagine, like me, I find the 2008 Primo. Anyone Masoga Regias, you see the Regias, Masoga Chirode, that Regias. There is a Primo in front of it, the white one. Now that's a 2008 Primo. I find that Primo is really lovely. I would not drive zino zebaita simanya sea light simanya bichi ebiri munana you Primo kati jenali agadde omuntu agule. So instead of getting 19 million 20 million to buy the sea light, yongera ke million endala musanvu ule moroke eri the Primo 2008 model. Right now in the bond it's about 45 million.
But if you can get it used, I find that that's the Primo people should be buying, not the older models. Moses Heath, good morning. Arthur, what do you think is a better option between Subaru Legacy manual and Altezza manual? Get the Subaru. If you want to get a car that will give you a nice driving experience. So the Subarus are not really comfortable cars, but I find that compared to the Altezza, the Subaru Impreza would be, and you're buying the Legacy. Yes, the Legacy is actually much more comfortable. Yeah, the Altezza is not a comfortable car. The Altezza is not a comfortable car, so I would not recommend anyone to buy it. I've sat in it, I've driven it. It's not comfortable at all. So, and on top of not being comfortable, okay. As I say, it doesn't really look that nice. Without the alternatives, you would think. But and they are both 2000 cc. The only difference would be the Altezza is easier to manage or maintain than the Subaru Legacy. The Legacy is expensive to keep on the road, more expensive than the Altezza. The Altezza Uganda Jet Touch. That's the thing. So if you're looking for comfort, you're looking for a car that will buy you a little bit of respect, the Legacy does that. If you're looking for a car that won't cost you much to maintain, the Altezza is your car. So good morning, firstborn. Ebikajjo mumulaba ate naagala kukyama naye saba okuvuga ebikajjo ebyo bijjeekawo empo bituusa wano eyebeera experience. It's not about the skill of riding the bike. It's about experience of riding with motorcycle with bikajjos on. Naye baba naye wakutte kitegeeza kajjaamu ka leero just kabadde kasinikirwako manyi naye waali enkutte. Eno line yetera okutambula ebyamagezi katika tusigale mu eno line. Yeah, so modifications we are talking. Sinalaba model can be modified by the. You can imagine if modifications were very lovely, very good. How come we are not seeing any modified car on the road as of today? Sinalaba your name. Yesterday, as I was on my morning run, I saw a Chibina that someone put a metal bumper, a steel bumper, not even metal, a steel bumper. They built it as a bumper, but it's totally steel. You see, when I live in Dudu, I used to come to this guy who spare because spare wa Dudu talibu. It's that place, that one there. Ako. Spare wa Dudu tali omunonya na akubula renga that guy has the spare. Okitegera. Guy is still there surprisingly. Musajja mukadde ali awo era nga buli omuja akulagirira gende okusoma bamuyitangani ayina bwe bamuyitanga erinnya ositegeera abeereyo mu kayumba ke. All the rare spares of the rare cars, that guy has them, all of them. Good morning, football tribe. Antonio Random Things, Joseph Barikudembe, good morning. Thank you for the good week wishes. Kabadze wano mbenga mula bengudo bili at least muleme kwebowa. So anyway, modifications that are common that will cost you money when it comes for you to try to upgrade, because sometimes people sell their cars not because they are broke, and normally when I talk about you selling your car, people think I'm all of a sudden saying you are going to get broke. That's not what I mean. When I say that you need to keep your car in a sellable condition, what I am meaning is that I got in a line that doesn't move this time. The other line has moved faster than this one, and I don't know why. Anyway, when I say keep your car in a sellable condition, the only thing I'm talking about is that you may reach a point where you don't want that car anymore, because it's possible. Cars are things like phones. You get to hold a phone and all of a sudden you think maybe I need to get something better. which are not necessarily that you're going to go broke and want to sell because you need money first. You get it? But you may need to sell that car simply to top up, to get a newer car, and it happens literally every day. So if you're going to want to buy a new car along the way, why are you over modifying a car to the point that it can get to you selling that car? The people are saying emotoka ekibi wagikola akola nnyo ebininkini nabo byonna biwagisalaasala okitegeera. What do you think of Mitsubishi Delica? Leave that car alone. DNN, leave those cars alone. Yeah. Bamuita Salongo Sereko, he used to sell all the dudus. Aha, go mumanyi. Ne Anthony waina oyiribyenesi. Nze namanya gaba abantu sigajjukira go gajjukira. Salongo Sereko. Munanga we nagulanga spare wangu wa dudu. Ngononya buli wamu ne kabula. Nojjanga akalina. Anyway, good morning Deep in Coffee. Good morning JK. Seth Kagawa, hi. So anyway, you want to keep your car in sellable condition because majority of the time when someone says, oh, I think I admire the Wish. Wish Kuba. Wish Jayagara, Yagare no Wish. He doesn't want a Wish that has a boot spoiler, a very big boot spoiler. Ayagara this Wish in original condition, in original format, in original design. Now, yes, I understand that you may be a designer, you may know people that design, but you know you're losing money in two times. You're losing money, the money that is going to modify the car, but you're also losing money when the people are buying the bazi sala. And somehow, when people are trying not to buy your car at the proper price, they'll bring up all sorts of reasons. Even the good things, sometimes people might use them against you. Obviously, when motoke yanti kati wajisalamu wano obutuli kati bichi bino biwajikola yonna wajonona. You're selling 20, then the guy starts saying kwa 15 was kwatanga onkubira, and then he goes, and then he will think he will come back because he won't find a car as good as yours. He will find a car as good as yours. If he has the right budget. Majority of the time, the reason people can't find cars in good condition, the types of cars they want, it's simply because they don't have the right budget. But with the right budget, I'm telling you, there is no way you'll fail to get a car in good condition. So yes, finally my line picks up. My line moves. So I didn't really make that bad of a choice. Yeah. So anyway, as you make your modifications, I find that some of the modifications that are actually good for your car that will boost its resale value would be like when you add an Android radio in your car, when you put a woofer in your car, which my line picked up. Oh yeah, I made the right decision. You know, it's these small decisions that we make that make us feel like, yeah, you're a good decision maker. But of course, some decisions come with you being experienced. Like now I'm experienced with this road, so every time I make the wrong decision with which line I want to go with, I feel a little bad when it doesn't work out. But when it works out, I'm saying, yeah, the fact, you know, data is important. Of all the times I've been driving there, that place has shown me that line moves best because the other line, and yeah, that in a way stops that line from moving that fast. We are late, not because we are late, but we are late because of the jam. That's why I normally say, in Guduzi Kampala, they can humble you. Overi ngo duke scene. Katolaba, akamono kakandi mabega ka probox. Twavude matuganga kajja katuyisa zwi. Kati nkalima so kaka of course kalina kupisa nera. Naye kati tuvude mabega matuganga kaduka kati kandi mabega. Nze kampisiza ne kampisa ne moro kanga 12. Ne mali nkasanga mujjamu kako. Mzee yagadda duke moro. You remember him? That dude. Guy about that duka. Somehow Ugandan roads will humble you. Fabamanye ngudos are friend. You know what? This is the speed that gets you where you want to go without struggling. Which again, like right now I'm doing the speed limit. I don't know what speed those guys are going because they're not doing 70 kilometers per hour. Because it's me who is doing 70. No worker started to woo you know 8. Me, I'm doing the speed limit, by the way. I try to maintain the speed limit. It's one of the hardest things, especially on a road like the northern bypass. It's one of the hardest things to do. And for the guys that don't know, aba traffic bamanyi okuyimirira wansi awo abakwata speed bamanyi okuyimirira awo Land Cruiser weetuuse we babeerera ddala kapande ka 70 kilometers per hour. Just to remind you that you know this road has a speed limit of 70. Ate we babeerawo bakwata. The only trouble is that tebajja ku makya, bajja misana. Ate nga abantu abatera okudduka batera kudduka ku makya. But I try to maintain the speed limit. Kati ne batabani bange natandise obasiba emisipi serious. Teri byakugamba tuli baana bato. Seat belt. Sit in one place and wait. Hey, Joshua, good morning. Kisama, good morning. Yeah, so modifications. When you add an Android radio in your car, that's a modification that is nice, that will make someone like your car when it comes to time for you to sell it off. Adding a reverse camera, that is something that will make someone like your car more when it's time for you to sell, because it's going to get to a time when you want to get rid of that car. Not because you don't have money, but mostly sometimes because you want to upgrade. Buli motoka, when you hear wobojiro takogamba sijja gitunda ngenda kufaafagana nayo motoka yange because ebitya okitegeera, but there are chances that it's going to come to a time ogikoowe. Kati when that time comes ng'okooye enkoowe nga nungi talina buzibu naye ng'owulira it's time for you to make a change. What will happen nga wagikola bi modification abantu byotamanyi okitegeera? And the one thing that I've realized about car sales, and I think it's not just car sales, it might literally, but with houses, because a house is one of the hardest things to sell. I've never sold a house, so I know. But of course, for me, it'd be that hard. I sold in like 2 months. But take it because in the Nadine Sarah woman, you know, we had an sent and they paid and I went. But take it. Enyumba kyekimu ku bintu ebikyasinza okuba ebizibu by'okutunda naye n'emmoloka nayo nzibu yakutunda okitegeera ate bw'oba ogikoze modification ate eba nzibu nnyo. Now you just imagine that hari akawundo nga bampa yayo bagiteekako bifiini bagitaddemu obutulituli bagitaddeko birangirangi okitegeera. Would you go and buy it? When someone dreams of buying a car, they dream of buying it in original format. They don't want to buy, but reverse camera, radio, woofer, much more illumination inside the cabin, because those are things that can be removed. And also negotiating a screen, screen is those are things that you can remove. And majority of the time, as I've seen, those people don't actually want you to remove those things. Is there anyone that has ever done a modification on a car that came back to bite them? Me, I find that literally everyone that has driven a car in Kampala has done a modification that I don't know how to link up the same. CVT kyetankora mukama katonda CVT yakwegendereza oyina ebifo byotamala gayitamu ewali ebiyinja yinja togenda because ogenda gikulubula ate bw'ogikulubula kandabe ekati of course kati nze skill y'okuvuga emmoloka ndudde nga nvuga emmoloka kati ebintu ebimu tebimbya kasikiro keeko nayiga emmotoka namala. So are there modifications that you guys have done on your cars that are permanent and then they came back to bite you? Personally, I don't think I've ever done a modification on my car. And there are times I wanted to do modification on cars. And then I thought to myself, okay, when I invest that much more money in that car, is that money going to be paid back to me by the person buying? And I realized that no one ever wants to think about that expense that you put in as a necessary expense. As a matter of fact, some modifications. Let me tell you the other thing. Offset rims. You guys have heard of offset rims. Eh? You put these rims that put the tire out. For you, that car looks nice. To most people, they actually think that the offset rims are dangerous. You put space as rim nezifuluma. To you, it looks nice, it looks lovely, you really want to do it over and over and over again. But other people, Like I'm looking at Daba Mitsubishi Fay Outlander, the Mukuraba Wali Honda Bajita Batia. All those are SUVs. Kati ndi Muraba Neka Wundo Wano. None of these cars have offset rims. Which take it. Ndabi Wali no way Pia, no offset rims. Subaru Zizi Maso Ganganya, no offset rims. So there are things that probably I think that you may want to do, thinking that guys, I do pre-purchase inspection. If you're going to buy a car and you want to make sure you make the right decision, I'm your guardian angel. I come with a mechanic and we make sure that you're not cheated. We make sure that you don't get a bad car. We make sure you get a car in good condition at the right price. All the verification of paperwork is our job. Your job is to simply say, you know what, I like that car. And then we say, you know what, it's good, let's buy, or it's not good, let's look for a better one. Normally, I recommend that if you're going to buy a car, don't look at one option, don't look at two options. I normally recommend that you look at a minimum three vehicles minimum, because sometimes you may want to look at other options, but all the other options are not in your budget. So at least 3 options should be the car you look at before you decide on what car to buy, whether you are with Arthur or not. Minimum should be 3 vehicles. Anytime you want to buy a car and you are forced to look at only one car, that means you're buying the wrong car. No matter what, and this is something that I'm telling you that I've experienced. I've told you about this gentleman that wanted to buy a car, and within his price range there was only one car, a Honda, whatever they call it. It was a Honda, a saloon. It looks like a Mark X. And I told him this is the wrong choice. And he kept telling me, and I told him because they are good cars. So you can't expect to get a good car at the same price as a bad car. And of course he ended up not buying the Honda, but he kept wanting to go back to the Honda. And I told him again as a second, and now the Honda Brian Wanyama, good morning. When I'm selling my car and feel that I'm not getting what I think is what, I keep it like you did Arthur and just buy a second Kasaga like you. No, the buy the winner for Naka percent. But then the guy that has my car is a close relation of mine. And I thought to myself, I just realized that to get another car that does what that Corolla does, I have to top up like 7 million. And then I thought, for Uber, is it worth for me to invest more money? Because already Uber is not worth the investment. Then Uber yonga business okuja kongo omuntu agenda kuba tekola yakamala emyezi 2 nga 10%, okitegeera. But because he's my person, yemuruka ninge yamuwa atandikire ko obulamu bwanaji ko wajirete nze mutwale ndikole overhaul. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So kati yemuruka nafuna aba percent nali badde njigaba, but me keeping that car is good for me, is good for that person, okitegeera. So katujitereke ebirewo agikozese atandike bambi omulamu, okitegeera, because ate sina sente zengenda kumwongerezaako kumugulira motoka mpya esobola kola eyo Corolla yange kyikola. When you look at the fuel consumption of the Corolla, not even Sientas give you that fuel consumption. The car that can try to give you the consumption of the Corolla would be the Vitz, the 1 liter Vitz, which take it. But even the 1 liter Vitz, I'd have to top up like 5 million to get a good 5 to 6 million to get a Vitz that does what that Corolla does. And even then, it won't give him the amount of power that the Corolla gives him. So me not selling the Corolla was much more than not giving me the money I needed. But also, I find that when you're selling your car and nobody's giving you the amount of money you need, don't sell it. Jivuge or jitereke. And I have a friend of mine, he keeps telling me, Arthur, omusajja agagga wala bintu bye bikufuula omugagga, okitegeera, bintu bye bikufuula omugagga nti you have a project that you need to do nga jeko nuwayo tewagitunda wagula buguzi kawundo ndala baba tebakuwa sente zo oyagala no oyinaka project ko yagala nuwa negenda mu nimiro nekola byokola pozi jeko wagama tojja kulima kale mu real estate ngoji brandinga jeke real estate developers okitegera ngegende college emirimu. So that's the other advantage I looked at, having more cars as more as possible, because every time you sell a car you lose money. You don't say they be seeing, of course there are cars that I've sold and I didn't lose money, and I thank God for that. But in the situ na moroka yange kola loss nti ene moroka obato sente zentaddemu zonna zonna bwobato zimpa nonyongeramu emitwalo 5 sijikuwa, because I know the sente and one thing I've realized that me, when I invest in a car, the money I invest is normally less by 40%, because I know where to source the things. Like if I put screens in my car, the screens I buy at 200, you would buy them at 500. So it's instead of you buying my car and thinking it's not as valuable, I'll help you go buy a new car, and then you invest those things in your car, which is really hard. It's really hard for you to just take a Android radio and take them the spin is, and take them, I want to went when you take them moroka zange nga munde kwa emirimbo kutulamu okitegera. How you rate a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado old model, Toyota Hilux old model? That would be in the range of 30-35. Buy a Prado. The Hilux at 35 million will still not be that good, but the Prado at 35 will almost be new. Because I see people buying Prados at 17 million, 18 million, and they are good. So 35 million should get you a very good Prado new one. You get, you should get a very good Prado, but the Hilux at 35 will still not be that good. So at times the Hilux, first of all, I don't find the Hilux is comfortable. And the newer models of the Hiluxes that are comfortable, you will have to part with like 70 million to get a very good one. Thank you, Joshua. Eddie, good morning. Mark, good morning. Yeah, so modifications today, yo, Mbalaga RAV4. Now, do you see that RAV4? People like that RAV4 in that format, in the original shape. Now, just imagine someone gets that RAV4, na akwata bumper za wansezo, na azitematima, na ateka mufinzi, eno wansina teka ya magwa, wali kuspoila na jake ya yentono, na leka kuspoile nene nyo, na ajiteka kaa magwa, wano exhaust pipes, na azichusa, na teka kone ne muffler, ne bange bo mudumu ekube dobozi didinge ya jetwaisa, dobozi jetwaita ya Subaru. Just imagine, would you still be interested in buying that RAV4? Because it will no longer be a RAV4. You get it? So someone that comes to buy a car that you have modified like that. So those modifications, Bambi Mosei Wali. If you want a sports car, collect money and buy a sports car. That is a sports car. Because when you buy a sports car, other people will want to buy that same sports car. But if you bought a Pro Box and wanted to make it a sports car, the people that want Pro Box want a Pro Box. They don't want a sports Pro Box. Because a Pro Box, nobody will actually take a Pro Box here sports. It will never become a sports. Katonaba ka Subaru Impreza. I wish I had children. Those Subaru Imprezas, it really looks lovely before it's modified. The moment you start doing those things, and I can tell her the logo, the Toyota logo, beating. So guys, you see those Subaru Imprezas, they look really nice before modification. Now, every time you modify a car, and I've realized that, yes, the guys that do modification in Kampala, they know what they're doing, but the finishing is lacking. Senga abade bakola finishing in motoke, nebangi fanananga almost the original. But abana abo bakola modification and the finishing, the edges, the joints, ziba zirabika bubi. At least majority of the cars that I've looked at, the joints zirabika bubi. Senga badenga bakola ebintu ebinde babikola bulungi. I know someone that did modification on his car, and abakola modification ne bamukonvincinga tugifuwe ne bafuwa bubi. To the extent that I reached the kind of moves where Moroka yatomera ngamba ne data yatomera najitwale no side wali wasibuka nimbagamba ne bafuwayo ngakatebe bafuye bayo nonye wali sigazeli yasiuka. And those are things that it takes time. No, You guys just look at all these cars as ijja. Ombu ino bado emotoka eri modified kwezo. Osegera. And you know one thing I've seen about modification of cars. A modified car is good when they have just modified it. The older it gets, the uglier it is. You get. And I think it's, I don't know, kati Chris Fitness kwa manyebye bya psychology byo yogera kati ogambye halo effect. I've heard of that term. Naye kati nze nebwe nchukira ngenda kere nchanga achira bi. Now kati ekyo bakiyita batecha, we not, us as humans not liking the things you're not familiar with. If you modify the fielder, people will not like it. They like the fielder in original format. So what do you call that in psychology, Chris Fitness? When people don't like things they are not familiar with. Eh? Do you call that discrimination of cars? Good morning, Pade. Chechiru, Eddie to see me. Hi, Moyombia Mark. Kawagama Enoch, my buddy has 10 million and wishes to buy a car. Which cars would you get? At 10 million, Vitz old model. Vitz old model. Let me see which other car. If he wants a car that is probably, he could also. He could. I'm saying could. He could. I'm not saying he must. He will. I'm saying he could. He could also get a Vista Adeo, the one that has the Primo new model engine. He could get that one. He could also get a RAV4 old model. Subaru SC. Tefude zino tezifa. Zisika nze nyina gwe nalenga gambuliga setenyu ngatenyu awa. Tuminjira byenti atesise. Ezo. And by the way guys, I'm really happy that majority of you guys that buy cars with me end up driving full tank. Echo chinsanyusa nnyo. We are picking up a very good habit. That's a very good habit. Teri motoka kusikirako mukubo. Emotoka tuka mu half tank yongera wa mafuta. Ukitegera. Yongera wa mafuta. And I realized that there are times I used to hear people saying ensonga lwaki tebanywa full tank ya mafuta mwababi babe motoka abalina mafuta ge bafuga. Motoka kiteke mu tracker. Hey, ebintu ebimu byangu wabannange ate ne motoka tomalaga giparkinga buli wamu. Oboso bateka mu tracker nga nnya. Oba disconnecting eno kusigala kendala. Oba disconnecting eno kusigala kendala. Ukitegera. So guys, modifications are good, but there are things that the other things that people do, like unabaka space yako bekafana na butu ya white. Modifications look like that. For you watch koze chikulabikira bulungi ne ku bantu abalala abakiraba batatera kiraba. It looks like otetenkanya. How modification and najikola ne ku matala gange. Some modifications look like you're trying to beautify a car that is ugly. Katolaba ka Vitz kali kako kazumi. Ako. Amatala go mugala, but they're not supposed to be like that. Yateka ko ka tint. Yateka ko sticker. Na yolo za rachi yateka ko sticker because amatala ga yatika. He did not do it to make the car look beautiful. No. The lights got cracked. Ageza ko kubuza abuzambira. Ukitegera. So when you modify your car, that's how people see it. Bana banga gwageza ko okutetenkanya. Balabanga gwagezako okutetenkanyaaki okutetenkanya motoka irabike bulungi nga ate irabika bubi okitegeera. So you want to try as much as possible to avoid doing permanent modifications kubanga yo sticker sebo okijjako okwo eretalo oba oli ono okitegeera. Yiyo kasatu limujiyitako mugyetegereza ogiraba sticker and those stickers bateka ku brake lights otuka ngo lumu ne brake light terabika ukitegera. Have you ever seen a Benz that was modified? Era bora Benz eri modified omanya ya munnachalo ukitegera. Majority of the time when people modify their cars, they are just not satisfied with their cars, but investing in modification is cheaper than buying another car. But all in all, I find that most people that modify their cars are trying to create sports cars out of cars that are normal cars ukitegera. And for me, my advice is the Toyota Blade is a performance car, but it's not a sports car. So you will want to buy a Blade, and because it has a lot of power, you want to make it look like it's a real sports car. But you remember that it's not a sports car, it's just a car that has a very powerful engine. Which take it away every time. You have to look at one of wait at you. Inalo ya itao. Ata inalo ta itao. ataina rotaita oh ataina rotaita oh uina kujja ne alese Kati, you guys, have you seen a modified car on the road? Can you just imagine how strange you're going to look when modifying the motor car? Why is he modifying a Mark II? He modified the Mark II. It looks really he put a lot of colors like a rainbow on that Mark II, and I'm sure people will not want to buy that car. I'm sure na yeye ajikoa. One of the reasons why seating is seeking a gypsum, no gypsum, no colors in the ceiling. It has to be plain. Because those things that you guys put in the ceiling, getting them out is also you spending money. Cutting me, I keep it plain. I don't do permanent modifications on anything. Katulaba kakatanda. Ye yakasako kusienta, ye alaba kakola abako. Ochegera. Nero omuntu agenda ogula emmoroka ekyagenda osooka okukola kujjako katanda. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Eh? Because akatanda uli omulala ye alaba akatanda koonoona emmoroka. Okitegera akatanda tekalina kyamagezi kyakakola kuki. Ne wano ayina royo ayitawo. Otebiriko gamba nti nze mmanyi nnyo emmoroka nvugidde emmoroka ebbanga wano byalo wane ebitala tebiriko oba amasannyalaze. Like abapoliisi tebasasudde yaka. Manyi sebo yakawe ennaku zino oluvaako ng'avaako. To be on the safe side by the kati nze ngula yaka wa 10. N'embeerawo emyezi gyange ng'ena nga siseemu kulowooza ku by'amasannyalaze nga tegavaako. Kati njagala gulayo ebitala by'ebweru ebya sola ngendeze ku consumption. Kati emitwalo gyange 10 nga gyentwala emyezi nga 6. Kuba amatala g'ebweru ge gasinga okunywa amasannyalaze. Omumanyi ayina ekyo kimaka tunaye naye yakyonoona kirabika bubi na okitegeera gwonna guli ekimoroka kiringa it's like a burden on earth. Some cars that get modified they are like burdens on earth. Kiti kimaka tukiringa burden bana. The guys I was telling, this is the primo you should be buying. Ye primo gyoba olina ogula essaawa eno. Kati UBK oyinza okisanga ku million nga 29 asatu. Okitegeera UBK. But you can get like UBFs, UBGs at like 25, 26. Okitegeera. But that's the only primo you should be buying right now. Ziri primo kademo zireke. They're not even nice anymore. At least for me, I think because I've been exposed to that new primo, so I find that that's the primo you should be buying. It's like someone who wants to buy a Hilux. If you don't buy that Hilux in front of us, why are you even struggling to buy a Hilux? That Hilux at least very comfortable. So if you don't have 80 million to buy that one, why are you struggling to buy a Hilux of 25 million? Those other Hiluxes, the hard bodies, they're not guys. I do pre-purchase inspection. Yeah, when you guys start buying cars in June, because I've realized that people start buying cars in June. Of course, even now people are buying cars, but the people buying cars now can't afford pre-purchase inspection. I've seen Subaru zino zisika mafuta sebu sisera agenze kugula mafuta singe badde fude yali badde mwali akutte kadomola guys. And that's the thing with the zemoroke zirike emidumwe ogirinya n'owuliranga n'owulinya n'onywa amafuta go kuba ye moroka nga yo batenywa nnyo kale zinywamu naye batenywa nga bwe enywanga ogirinya. So those are two Subaru zetusanze nga sisise ate zikyasika nnyo kyobola ba guys mbagamba teweepanka emoroka ya sisi 200 gireke oba tonnaba kubeera mu roadi ule moroka ya sisi 500 oba 1000. Nze nabagamba nze nyinza n'okudda mugala kwepampalika nyinza n'okudda mama vitizi teina space yange lwakuba njagala. I miss the Vix. It's one of the easiest cars to wash. Now my kids have gotten a taste of a big car. Bala binti moroka nsobola okugulayo kunene kati mwenzira yomu 100k for 4 months athwesa amasanyazi jeke nkozesa ebweru nyina yetala kanda bemmeka naye jeke sebe bweru ewange amatala gena sign atekamu ku math ewamu waliyo 3 watt ewamu waliyo 3 watt kuget kali wali ekitale kya watts oba kya watts asatu naye wale wasinga kati waliwo ne wali watts oba musanvu mwenda wasigadde 3 3 nengera waka ati bweru to get better light njagala gulayo ebitala bya solar bya watts 10 ye banteke ebyo atankwe gaya atunda solar security lights osobola okumpa you give me ngirageranye nade ndoza kubye importingira but you can give me and I try. You share the number NASA. I compare the prices and see what to buy, whether to import or buy from your guy. Arthur, gypsum munyumba, it looks really nice. Okay, NASA gypsum looks nice, but for me I try to avoid things I may get tired of. Gypsum oyo mulaba abamulaba nga bamulaba gusooka abawakabi abantu batuuka ne gwe wenyini nyini wootuuka naye koza lwaki abazungu ebyo bintu tebakyabikola akola babikola bagenda okulaba nga okitegeera kati bali mu minimalism. I find that gypsum is nice, but I think I would get tired of it. I get bored very quickly. That's the reason why I can't run on a treadmill. Treadmill embowa mangu n'ebintu ebyokukola empola mpola change nagikulako change okugivuga akasozi mu ovuga mpola sibya mpaka nze nebo wanga njivako nga njikulula. I get bored, so the gypsum will I would get bored very quickly. Embassy Eritrea agala ogenda okufuna asira. You guys are going to go and get and be near Egypt. Yeah, this is the defense office. How come we have a defense office of Egypt in Uganda? We humans are wired to not like unfamiliar situations, things. It stems from our kati imagine kati oraba fielder ya blue terabika bulungi. Kati imagine fielder nga si ya blue nga ya silver ngogitaddeko spoiler ogikoze bichi. When I like that Corolla the way it is, I like it the way it is, not modified. Natural inclination towards prediction and control. Eye primo je mba mugula mujira beri maso. Eyo primo yokaje obo ogule sawe na agula primo. That's the primo to buy. I know it's expensive, and then someone would say Arthur to pika nawe. Iza siba pika gula jo yagala nengero ye primo nonje yokula kati. Arthur, how long do titles last? Tiles? What do you mean? The tile na siba tile kasanga tijendali na siba nenvayo nga tizina kyezibadde ukyangambala okay fena tubadde tudde eno ate laba ono nze nabagamba ngenda balambuza ekibuga wali kukuba lesinaba bayisaamu nga nsobola ddi bayisaamu lingambye nze ndibayiseemu. Fuel is not the problem. Bwe gana gwawo nga musonda nze mbayiseyo nayo mulabeyo. Ate mwaliise ku Nyonyi Gardens. Nyonyi Garden nayo njibayisizza. Abaana ba boda bakaziwe bitategeerekeka. Market seyo jiraba. That market, someone wants it the way it is. Kati gwe ngogenda ogikubyemu ebituli. But of course there are people that will not sell their cars in Aiya Sarawo. It might also be a control mechanism. Nenga jendaga walinge wakutte. Wano reverse camera weekolera baba. Eri wakutte katuyite wano leero. Katuyite wano. Kati no imanju wa kororo. Eno jano sinikidaka amanyo. Yani rastas ndani yagaye bamukwata okuparkinga watalina ku parking. Kati wano otekawo emmotoka nti bakukuba n'amasasi ku Colorado Independence Grounds. Nemambe kubo lya Colorado Independence Grounds ngali embarasinga. So anyway, echa modification ndo zabagayi tukimanya. Don't do permanent modifications on your car. Okujja kongo mind ogenda faafagana nayo. Kati mulaba Corolla yange nsobola gitwala ewa DK modification n'agikola byenjagala because you nasala want yange ngenda kubeera weewaka ebeera spare car yange omwana we bwanaako okugivuga ng'angizza ewange okitegeera ng'ebeera yeewaka nti maama abani bw'avuga eno oba yonna gye tuba tulina at that moment manya nti ewaka nsigazaayo kakorona nzizaako buza battery ngankolaki nganvuga nga ngenda gyendaga ti wava wakati wabirawo nga tewaliiwo mmotoka kiraba and that's why I was telling you guys guno omwaka if you have one car buy a second car okitegeera if you have two cars buy a third car. It's omusajja agaggawala bintu. That's a thing that I picked up from one of my friends. Omubede waliwo omubede kyali wange yatera okukiŋŋamba atho omuntu omusajja agaggawala bintu gyokoma okufuna amataka amangi olwogaggawala okitegeera kakati nona ekitaala kyawano kirwawo okuta. Tiles depend on the brand you used. Spanish, Italy, India are good and long lasting. Chris Fitness, I think it depends where you're going to put the tiles and what activities are going to be used there. Because all tiles can grow old put in the wrong place, and all tiles can last long put in a place that has no activity. Which take it. I find that because me I've realized one thing. I realized is that katuraba amaka tuzimba ennyumba zimwe oyinza okuzimba ennyumba n'olowooza nti ogenda kubeeramu paka n'otuuka n'ofuna ssente eyo n'ogivaamu n'odda ewalala kati oba ofaafagana kimbo nteekamu Spanish tiles nti ate olumu kati ne wano e Uganda wennyini omuntu asobola ofuna akatiba ka Spain na Uganda bagezi ate ajudde Spain gye mugula n'agenda afuna akatiba akali mu Spain ng'akola tayiro ze Spain ng'azikolera Kampala. Kati ebintu bya Uganda bino oba Katonda ayamba buyambi. Ogenda mutwalira Cora FX and he seems good at what he does, but he reached out to them on Chokola mubira akalango bandi video yange ya modification like yamukubyemu ko kati era ne ku TikTok ngenda genda muyisizeemu ka akalango yalemega amantu omusajja atha yakubye mukubi sikubye kutta. But of course I point yange esigala nti permanent modifications should be for people that don't care. Like probably one, you don't care how much money you lose. You can lose all the money you lose, you will not care. Two, that you don't plan to sell your car. If you plan to sell your car at any one moment, avoid the permanent modifications which take it. Banange siwakana banange jeke nze mmanyi nti tiles ennungi zibeerayo naddala ezo zibagamba mu Spain simanya biki nungi, but I find that ne zino tiles ewa eze Kampala, there are people that have put Kampala tiles in their houses ne zirwawo ne zibeereramu nno ddala emyaka nga tezisiiwuuse tezikoze eki okitegeera. They are there and people are picking up on buying Ugandan tiles because the Spanish tiles are very expensive okitegeera. The simanya India simanya chi okitegeera, they are very expensive, so the Ugandan tiles are RAV for 2010 fuel efficiency, most of those 2010 and they 2.4 liters, so obiranga avuga kawundo. So fuel efficiency vehicle, when you're buying those big those new SUVs you have to be vehicle. And I when nali nga nteka tiles kasanga ti wange natekayo tiles, natekayo oyo gwe bayita Spain, natekayo tiles gye bayita eza Spain. I don't even remember how I differentiated abazitunda byakugamba nti ono Spain okitegeera. And then of course ebabigenda watera okubeerayo obugambo made in Spain oba akagambo Spain oba a Spanish company and all that, but other than that there is no way for you to differentiate, which means that omusajja omugezi asobola okugenda n'afuna akatiba ka Spain n'akola tiles za Spain e Kampala okitegeera. Ugandan problems with tiles mostly aren't about good quality. The tiles fixers bwonoonya. I bought good tiles for 2 rooms. Now you know bobo wanoona wano nga basala but I found that this dude ankolera tiles ewange bwakutuma box 13 akwesako 12 okitegeera that's the most it does eye 13 bwagiyingiramu agirekamu pieces eziwerera ddala ate ng'era asaze okitegeera so I find that it's better known to materials nozirekawo nenzira abantu ozireseewo n'okusalaasala kuli nnomo ojja kwonoonamuko but era obwo bupiise bujja bulabulaga ate sinja busi ku septic tank ate sinja busi ku septic tank naye nga tebwonoonese. Besides nalaba there is a hardware we batunda bupiise obwo bumenyisemenyise kilo ya 5 obugattagatta septic tank n'ogifuula ya matiri gonna so ebyo bitayire ebyo bikadde sibisuula mbireka waawo pieces bijja fona we biraga ati tebabumenyamenya ne babuteeka ku gundi mu musingi gw'ekikomera oba ku pillars ez'ekikomera ne bagenda nga bwe basaako bwe bati wala tubbayo oluyinja tebuyiza bulwa bulaga. Sometimes project owners want cheap labor. You get what you pay for. Guys, no, JK, there is a standard price in the market. Esawe no square meter bagisibira omutwalo gumu. Abantu abasinga, that's the standard price in the market. Omuntu yenna ayina asukka omutwalo ogumu zo olina okuba nga ogenda kukola magic. Omuntu asikka omutwalo ogumu olina okuba nga sigenda sangawo tayiro ng'ogisaze. Okitegeera mbu square meter yagumu kitundu. You have to have something special. Okitegeera square meter ya mutwalo omuntu seba koya square meter ku mutwalo era aba akubye because talina kyateekamu okujjako mashini n'amasannyalaze gwagasasula. Square meter ya mutwalo, that's the standard price. Abantu nze bansibirako square meter y'ettaano mu studio wali. Okitegeera we tushutingira cafe. Square meter 15,000. Okitegeera n'aleeta abaana bataano kuba nali ku deadline ne bagisiba olunaku olwo studio yonna. Naye bwe yaddamu okunsibira I extended the studio. Yansibira mutwalo. Okitegeera. But anyway, I find that JK there is a standard mu Uganda wano waliwo standard y'ekintu nti tosukka waawo nti for example kati okwoza emmotoka nga booza just cleaning ekinene kyolina okukola mitwalo 2 ate gye emitwalo 2 gikola mu washing business omu kibuga wakati okitegeera nga naye kale bw'aba asasula rent asasula mungi nga it's understandable. But other than that, any other washing be 10k. 10k. Oba lupira, oba si lupira, 10k. It's standard. If you just want lupira, kasanvu. But if you want washing, 10k. Kitegeera. Akasanyi tukakebera. Era bwe kaba tekaliimu tugamba nti akasanyi kano tekaliimu. Waliwo abantu abajjamu obusanyi ne bali programming a computer. Ebeera ng'ekayina. Okitegeera but tubikebere ate emmoroka za bondi zo tuzikebera nnyo because emmoroka ya bondi oligifulumya tolina bwogenda gamba muntu ndi akasanyi tekavudde actually n'abayayi ba bondi bennyini bakugamba makanika waakebera akasanyi ako okitegeera but obusanyi tubukebera and emmoroka etali mu kasanyi tebula erabika nnyo tesobola kubula kati bw'obanga omanyi okukola inspection nga tolwawo okukola inspection. It's very hard for you to not know that in Morocco the one thing I don't like about the situation in Uganda, you have to go and line up at an embassy that is in your country, stay at a window. This is the French embassy. French embassy. I've ever gone there to get a transit visa because no. I think that France buying an embassy that is buying an ensign that is representing you. But I've ever gone there to get a transit visa when I France. I don't like the fact that bakuyimiza kadisa ngolinga agenda okubabba munda tebalina ne bibika mu nsi eyo batujoze nnyo. Joseph, put the beam all around the house. It does not matter what you're going through. It does not matter about which. Put a beam all around the house. Omuzimbine bwana akugamba mbisenge by'omuntu atetuteeka mu guys. Ng'oyagala okupanya nti beam ya mugaso. Kuona ekisenge kitali mu beam. olaba n'ekisenge ekirina beam nakyo kikona bwoti n'okibira nga kiyuugamu okisenge. Now imagine a house that has no beam. Nze nyumba yange yeekasanga ati yasooka nalina omuzimbi nga fala. I asked him, yali angamba ebya beam, ne mubuuza beam eyamba kye ennyumba. He could not answer. Ne mbwa tetussaamu. But I can tell you that I saw the results. Put the beam in all. Wonna teekawo beam. Nze nkubuulira wonna ate bakwereka beam nga katonotono naye kateekemu. Beam enyweza ennyumba. Kitegedde baaba? So nga tonaba nagenda eyo wa beam enyweza ennyumba, teekamu beam. A beam is very important for your house. Take a beam mu nyumba wonna buli kasenge teekawo beam. Abazimbi temubawuliriza. Ebiseera ebimu n'omuzimbi ayagala kuzimba aveewaawo ng'alaba ssente zikuweddeko kati ng'akukolera omuti agenda afuna abalina ku ssente. Kitegeera naye ono yakayiga emmoroka n'engeri gyakyamamu. TX kugiraba nga bampa y'emabega egoomyemu. Sala. Mwalabeyo ku moroka eri modified nze na okuva ku macha sinalayo moroka eri modified. Why? Because majority of the modified cars are mostly in parking lots ebiseera ebisinga. Okitegeera nti abaana abamodifying emmoroka ebiseera ebisinga ekyobugagga kyaba alina eb'emmotoka. Ge mazima abaana abasinga abamodifying emmotoka. Okitegeera that's the one thing I've seen. Ate baba n'okukola baba batetenkanya nnyo obulamu ebiseera ebisinga emmoroka agireka mu parking n'agenda n'akola ebibyo. Okitegeera kati aba alaba ng'emmotoka erabika gy'agenda oba okusembayo okugula. Okitegeera so bw'obanga osuubira okugula emmoroka endala anytime emmoroka yo gy'olina essaawa eyo modification zireke okujjako okola ebino eby'omu interior ready empya bikoze bitya obuntu bwangu nnyo oba obukole naye togenda kusalaasala mmoroka. It might come back to bite you. Mpuliriza emmotoka baabo. Mpuliriza. Tekabadde mbadde mpulidde mubi. Badde nina akantu kempulidde nga kalinga akalinga. Kale. Africa Carota, good morning. Do we have any civil engineers here? Saith Kagaba, what is Akasanyi? Akasanyi is the catalytic converter, Saith. Akasanyi catalytic converter. Beam bagitekako half, but I already see side effects kyokka basereka dda. Side effects banange nze sikyayinza kuddamu kukola nnyo era nange bwe nali nzimba yinginya yaŋŋamba nedda kasa twetolozeewo ne mugamba teekamu oba nkalire beam etuya. I-beam gives global stability to the entire building. Thank you very much. Gwatolaba ennyumba ne bw'oba ogitaddemu beam era okonda ku kisenge bwoti n'okiwulira ng'era kibulamu ng'ogamba senga babadde bateekamu ne zino. We say the house has cracks. I'm worried to even complete it. No, bagikube plaster. Bagikube ate onofiira ku eyo. I remember when I built my first house in Kasangati, waliwo omusajja yajja okundaba baali bazeggula mmotoka yange. Ne muga kaakati wano njagala wano nteekewo kalina naŋŋamba twala eri maliriza ennyumba ogire ogenda kufiira wano kati emuyenga baakolerayo baani okitegeera. And I'm glad that guy came at the time that he came because I was actually planning to do a kalina there. Nti kati navaayo dda natundayo dda okitegeera natuuka nga sikyagala nakubeerayo nga wantaming environment sigyagala okitegeera. But anyway guys, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast. Arthur, even amateurs will ask for a standard price yet tebamanyi kye bakola. Yes, anti naye kati omuntu amanyi kyakola olina okufuba okulaba nga alina recommendations ba amateur bonna benda byakolera nusu kasanvu 15 because amateur bw'obagaininga naye akkiriza amateur tagaana because amateur tatera funa mirimu okitegeera. Arthur, septic or biodigester, what's better? Nze nakola septic tank
biodigester abantu bagamba nnungi naye nze kyekintu sijja kikola anywhere. Septic tank, I find the septic tank is tried and tested. Lubura Chris Fitness, Valerian Serunkuma, Martha Academy, Nama Mukono, Travel Life Vlog, Abiola Pounds, Viola Namiro, Paul Sema, Hasmat, Heath Moses, Noah, Firstborn, Antonio Random Things, Football Tribe, Joseph Bali Kudembe, Seth Kagaba, JK, DNN, Deep in Coffee, Nick Wabui, Abdur Nasa, Kitha Mashadrak, banange radios Android weziri mujje mugula radios Android muremu kuzindekera mujje muzigure mistake mmoro kamurekera okuvuga mmoro kanga zirimo obu radio bulinga bibaka kokuberamu. Brian Wanyama, Muyombia Mark, Tusime Eddie, Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Pade Mutumba, Kawagama Enoch, Seth Kagaba, Chamba de Hannington, Matembe Abdur Nasa, Joseph Bali Kudembe. Ndi munayu ni siba maze yonno mulowooza. Africa Carota, Viola Namiro, Gerald Sonko, okay guys, I wish you a very lovely day. May God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Incha tugenda twogera ku value chain. Value chain, a conversation yava ku this gentleman yanchalira luligwe nabagamba twali twogera ngenda bagamba how we got to talk about the value chain and why I think we guys should be talking about it. May the good Lord bless you guys. Ciao ciao.